Hello everyone, we are this time in Disneyland California Adventure. Yesterday we explored Disneyland and again we're going to figure out if you're traveling on your own, someone who's not a real Disney fan but of course grew up with Disney, is this park also still worth visiting?
Disney California Adventure is the newer park of the two. It is also slightly smaller and contains more thrill rides. So how is it like as a first time explorer to discover Disney California Adventure? Of course, start your day here again when the park opens, in my case 8 AM, and it will close at 10 PM. The first stop for me was the Guardians of the Galaxy ride. In the past this was Tower of Terror, but according to cast members, in this new shape and form with more drops, it is definitely a better experience. I at least can admit that the theming of this is spot on. After a quick stop and setting a high score in the web-slinging game of Spiderman, which wasn't as fun as the Spiderman ride at Universal, but still great fun, it was time to get to Pixar Bay. Being a small kid in Toy Story's mania again, putting the best score in from our car, but from there it is time to look at some tips and tricks from its amazing Ferris wheel for when you're here.
Alright, challenge of the day. In a swinging gondola in a Ferris wheel, trying to give you the best tips and tricks when you're in Disneyland. First of all, download the app on your phone, because in that way you are able to keep track of all the waiting times, plan your day optimally, and also you see when attractions are not in service, because for example Rise of the Resistance is not always in service, and now Incredicoaster, which is there, is also not in service. Then you have access to order food through the app as well, which saves you a lot of time, because you can just stand in a queue, order your food for a certain window, walk up, say that you're there, and then you're good to go. It gives you times of the shows. So basically the Disney app is your holy bible when you're here. If you have children, you might want to download the Disney Play app as well, because that will give you access to certain games when you're somewhere. And then for now, I think I'm just going to enjoy the ride here on this gondola and this Ferris wheel. Pretty fun. Like, it's pretty quiet till now again. Now we start swinging again, and then we're going to enjoy the rest of Disneyland Adventure.
From Little Mermaid, which kind of puts you back in time again to the older dark rides, it is time to make use of my single rider's lane benefit again. However, be aware of the following if you want to make use of the single rider's lane.
The other thing is, when you have that list of single riders attractions and you want to make use of it, sometimes ask a cast member at the entrance. For example, Soren over here doesn't have any sign, but you can ask a cast member and they will give you a paper, and then you can queue, and like the waiting time at the moment stands for 55 minutes, and I waited for 15 minutes to get on board in that way. So yeah, if you're in doubt, always ask a cast member and maybe you can get in the ride earlier.
Some other great places where it could save you a lot of time waiting by making use of the single rider's lane is Radiator Springs races. People that queued for almost an hour because they want to sit together, compared to me being on my own, only queuing up for 5 minutes. What amazing ride is that anyway? The details of the cars and how they are moving is absolutely incredible. Incredicoaster saved me a lot of time as well as a single rider, but this can be a hit and miss dependent on the length of the single rider's queue.
What's quite fun to do as well is just the animation class here in Disneyland's Adventure. It's maybe not really a well-frilled ride, but it's very informative, and well, not sure how Oswald turned out. The different characters during the day they can draw, so you can check the schedule. I just walked in now and then there's Oswald on the menu. But yeah, it's quite fun to do as well. If it is your birthday, first time visit to Disney, or anything else you want to show off, go to the guest reception and you can get those big buttons for free as well. No need to pay anything, and you can show everyone what a kind of special day it is for you.
In the evening the park really comes to life, especially Carsland looks amazing at night, and the night show with the fountains, the projections on it and the special effects, using a combination of the water, projection and making use of the attractions behind it as well that light up at the right time is absolutely stunning. This show really gives you that feel-good vibe with the message that as long as you follow your dreams, you're able to achieve anything, as long as you don't let you stop by others. However, unfortunately my adventure in Disneyland didn't stop here after this by something more unfortunate that happened.
So it's now the next day, and I unfortunately also discovered that Disney Lost and Found seems to work pretty well. Yesterday I lost my battery pack for this camera somewhere in the park. Unfortunately the online system wasn't working, so I had to file a manual report at the Lost and Found desk where I'm going now. And then this morning I got a message saying that they should have it over there. So I pick it up now. You also have the option to send it back to your own place, or you tell them they don't care anymore. But of course I do care, otherwise I didn't report a lost and found. So let's see if they really have it. But based on all the responses online when I was looking into that, 99% of the cases, even when you lose phones, wallets, whatever, it always comes back here in Disneyland. Let's see if that magic is really true. And I guess that's just true. Disneyland, a magic place. Things were lost, come back to you. People are just friendly and very helpful here. It also brings me to the fact that I didn't tell you yesterday, Disney California Adventure is much smaller than Disneyland in terms of attractions. Especially when you're on your own. I had in the first 3-4 hours I managed to do all of the attractions, especially when you're on your own. Like, for example, Pixar, like the Racing Springs from the Pixar Cars movie, or Incredicoaster, they can have sometimes long waiting hours, especially the Pixar one. At the end of the day, it was over 2 hours waiting time if you are with a group in the standby queue. But on your own, the first time was only 5 minutes for me, and well, the second time in the evening when it was a bit down after the rain pouring and everyone still wanted to make that run, it also was only 30 minutes. So again, much smaller, but the better thrill rides. Guardians of the Galaxy was absolutely amazing. Incredicoaster and the Pixar one as well, just amazing. But the overall fun and the long days happens there in Disneyland, where I also managed to do everything overall at the end of the day when I'm on my own. But if you're with a group of people, you might probably need 2 days if you really want to do everything. But yeah, it's the main question that I asked at the beginning is, if you're on your own, you're an adult, and you're not really a huge Disney fan, is it still worth visiting? I would say, if you're in the area, absolutely yes. But in my case, if I have to pay for everything and even add travel and accommodation on top of it from the European perspective, I wouldn't pay that much. It's a really expensive undertaking. But to have once that magical experience when you're in the area, it's definitely worth doing.